For a while now, we've been wanting to give you a behind the scenes look at what happens at Apollo. So today, we're going to go and ask a few of our employees what they've been up to, what have they been working on, how are they doing. So follow me, let's go take a look. A man that needs no introduction, no one other than Eloi, our CTO. Eloi, how are you?
Great, thank you.
What have you been up to this week at Apollo, Eloi?
Working on the Pro Beta unit, we saw a couple feedback from customers, so we wanted to see what's happening with their scooter and address it directly with the factory. So far, it's all things we were aware that we caught when we were in China, so that's great. But yeah, so a couple of brake adjustment, lubricating some parts, and we were also testing the Apollo Light, the version 2 that you tried yesterday. I think you liked.
Big week.
Yeah,
for
big
Apollo,
week.
yeah.
And today we're gonna record the walkthrough of the V1 and the V2. So pretty excited about that. And now we're just working on the Explorer 2.
The Pro has been in the works for a very long time, right? It's been a scooter that's been in development for almost 3 years. The Beta is one more extra step of just protective and security measures we're taking to make sure that it's a fantastic finalized product. Are you seeing any of those learnings increase the development speed of the Lite?
Yeah, for sure. So the Pro, we were waiting maybe 6 months or a bit less, 5 months between the different prototypes. The Explorer, I was writing it last year and I still haven't got the second sample. You know, it's just so long. And for the Lite, in 3 months, in 2 months, we had 2 samples. And 3 months, the total of 3 months, we're going to have the mold ready and open with all the same critical part, like the folding mechanism, the display, the rear suspension, the motors, the tires, at least the suppliers, they're all from the Pro and the Explorer. So the iteration process gets a lot faster and way better too. The first Lite we got was really good, but the second one we got would be ready to be put on the market. It's so good. It's just as good as the Pro Beta pretty much. So yeah, definitely you see those innovation that we're able to develop with the Pro being readapted to the Lite makes it just so much better too, because you have a small scooter like this that have a folding mechanism designed for like the Pro, for example.
Same headset basically, right?
Same headset.
Yeah, same throttles. So it sounds like it's the parts that once you crack once, you can then reuse on a different scooter, which is obviously beneficial. The other thing was suppliers you mentioned, right? So having those reliable motor suppliers, battery suppliers, controller suppliers also carries those benefits. And what about the people that work on the assembly, the engineers? Like, are you seeing them get better over time as well?
We do, and we did the test. We run like another production on another production line that we have, and compared to the usual one we are having, and you see the difference in how fast they can produce, but also the amount of defect rate that comes out of this. So that just confirmed that we want to keep our same staff on the assembly line, and they are used to all those mechanisms being the same. So yeah, you do see a tremendous difference there as well. And the partners were lucky enough for the Pro to secure all the best the suppliers. So it's nice to be able to reuse them for a cheaper scooter like the Lite, you know?
Nice. Cool. So the Lite's coming along. Everyone's going to get to see it pretty soon. Super exciting. The Beta is underway. What else is going on this week at Apollo?
The Explorer, it's being done this month. We are making 2 samples, one to show and one to ride, because usually we only do one and we always break them. So now we make 2. And the Lite, the Apollo Lite, we are opening the mold and finalizing all the little details. So really excited about that. The lock as well.
We'll do a full development video. Yeah.
I'm gonna show you the V1, the V2, but now we are making the V3 and the final mold as well. So that's really exciting. We are coming up with new accessories like the mirrors as well. So we finally were able to do bracket fit on the Lite, the Explorer, the City, the Air, like one bracket that's gonna fit all of them. That's really cool.
And the app?
And the app, yeah. This week we're releasing the IoT, we're releasing the Pro Beta survey, we're releasing the Auto Connect feature.
Huge. Auto Connect.
Yeah. So as soon as you open the app, it's going to connect to your scooter. Instead of clicking connect, going to your scooter list, clicking it, that flow was horrible. So really excited about this, and it's just going to become like a seamless experience, right? It's like your Apple Watch always connected to your phone. It's going to be the same thing with your scooter. And what I'm really excited about is like being able to control the scooter remotely, you know, because but we have a lot of scooter there. And every time, like, you need to stand up, turn on the scooter, then connect. Like, now I can just turn it up from. I don't need to stand up to open the scooter and connect via Bluetooth.
We're getting to the real motivation behind this
Yeah.
feature. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. On our backend too, we push a ton of new feature. Well, to control those IoT and view a lot of data, but also for customer service, we push a new feature that like tells you the actual weather of where the person is riding. So when we look about the scooter overheating, for example, well, we never know if like in California right now it's 100 degrees outside or it's like a 25. So now we are able to see this, and we have an elevation curve for the terrain, the elevation as well. So if you go uphill and we see that it's linked to the temperature going up, it's just helping everyone to make a better diagnostic of what's happening with the scooter. So that's really cool. And we finally reach 1.5 million kilometers too
On our connected scooters, right?
on our connected scooter, which
That's
is
huge.
really huge. Yeah.
Yeah, so for context, our goal is to get to 1 billion kilometers, and we have only been able to start tracking this once we made our scooters app enabled. So the first challenge with that was that it was only the recorded rides we were able to track, and as of recently, we're now taking the full odometer count, and we're able to calculate the total amount of kilometers traveled based on the latest odometer standing. So we're seeing that the numbers climb up pretty quickly. How many would you say we're putting on? How many thousand kilometers are we putting on a monthly basis?
I can tell you right now. So it's really nice because it's built as a graph here. So exactly in the last month, we've put. We put about, because we changed the way, like you said, we're calculating it. So it took us a year to reach 1 million, but in the past month, because we are now grabbing it, like you said, every time someone is connected, we did 400,000 kilometers just in the past month.
400,000 kilometers in
yeah.
1 month. Wow.
Yeah.
And it looks like the chart's going up even more, right?
Yeah.
After that. So we're kind of trending for almost 500,000, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, we're gonna reach 500,000 before the end of the month, and probably 2 million by the end of the next month.
It's pretty cool. How does it feel to know that 500,000 kilometers were ridden on our scooters in the last 30 days?
It's insane. It's insane, and when you see like the amount of people to connected to the app daily, you know, like we've reached 1,200 people in one day connected and using the app, and that's just people using the app, right? It's not even everyone using like our scooters, which maybe is even double that numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's great, and I can soon we're working on a view now that you're going to be able to see all the ride path like within countries. So if you look at the map of Canada, you're going to see like where everyone rides and their thing. So that's going to be very insightful to see like the impact that we have there.
Well, and the one thing that we always go back to is like, you know, for every kilometer that's put on the scooter, that's 1 kilometer that was not driven. That's 1 kilometer that was not, you know, wasted sitting in traffic or paying for gas. And I think we're also talking about ways to quantify some of that impact, right? And maybe having that displayed in the app.
Well, maybe like an amount of gas saved too, you know, if you do like
Exactly,
1,000 kilometer, well, you saved, I don't know, $500 of gas, but also, yeah, like it's equivalent to 25 tree planted or things like that. Like could be
Carbon emission reductions, yeah.
footprint.
So as always, full desk worth of documents, charts, diagrams,
And coffee.
and coffee. Cool. All right. Thanks, Eloi. So we're here with Rachel, our operations manager. Rachel, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Amazing. Thank you. So you've been working on something really special over the last few weeks. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about what that project has been and how do you feel about it?
Yeah, for sure. So we're doing some really exciting stuff. We have an Apollo Pro early access program that we're working on. So essentially we're giving some select participants access to the Apollo Pro V6 early so that we can get feedback and we can kind of improve for our launch in the fall. So they basically have to ride 500 kilometers over 45 days, and they have to do some focus groups and surveys so we can learn about like how to improve the scooter, what they like, what they don't like, and how to really just make it perfect for the launch.
Great. And why did we bother with this project in the first place? It sounds like a lot of work.
I mean, it definitely is a lot of work, but I think it's great to get really real life feedback from the scooter before we release it to the public, because you know we build for what we think is the best and what we think is cool and you know what we've heard from customers, but to really have them like on it and get that real life experience, I think is important to get that feedback for the final version.
Fair enough. And I think sometimes you know, in other conversations with Eloi, we realize that it's one thing to test the scooter at the factory in the rig environment, you know, where everything's perfect and we're just doing one very repetitive motion, but I think the question becomes, well, what happens when you apply dirt and water and human error and all these other uncontrollable factors to the product? What happens then, right? So How many weeks has it been since we've actually delivered the first batch of the early access users?
So people were picking them up over the last week, but the program officially started on Monday, so only a few days technically.
Okay, so we're fresh into it.
We're very fresh, but honestly, we've been getting some really good feedback, and we have some awesome like user-generated content that people are taking. So we're having some pretty like cool pictures and
Nice.
videos of people with the pro in the wild. So
That's great
so
to
it's
see
gonna
it.
be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
And any early feedback that you can share? Any positive or constructive feedback that people have given us so far?
So far, I would say it's mostly positive.
Yeah.
I think people really like the sleek look of it. I think
Yeah.
it looks, like more Tesla vibe than a lot of the other scooters on the market. And I think the main thing that I've heard is the smoothness. Like, I think
Nice.
someone wrote like buttery smooth or something in the feedback, and
That's
I
what
think
we
that's
want.
kind of exactly, we've been hearing that a lot. So
Cool.
it's good so
Awesome.
far.
So what's been your biggest surprise and learning in working on this project?
Oof, that's a good question. Honestly, probably that there is a lot of people that are interested in these kind of programs. I think when we first started, we were not sure what the interest would be to kind of try an earlier version. I mean, it is final production, but it's
Yeah.
not, on the market. So I
Right.
wasn't sure what the interest would be for people to be part of this program. But I think it's been really positive, and people are also very understanding. Things do go wrong, and that's the purpose of a beta program for
Right,
us to learn.
exactly.
So I was a bit concerned, people would be like, oh, if something goes wrong, like, oh, they're annoyed with us. But I think they're just really happy that we're going this extra mile that no other company is doing to give
Yeah.
them this kind of opportunity to get feedback and everything. So everyone's been really understanding and helpful, kind of organizing, all the pickups and, anything if they have questions, reaching
That's
out
true.
to our customer service team. And everyone seems really, positive and constructive. So it's been
Awesome.
a really good learning.
Awesome. Amazing. Anything else you want to share about the beta program? I know it's been your life for the last few months, and you're probably in the thick of it right now. It sounds like, right, with the Canadian pickups already completed,
Definitely.
the U.S. pickups just about to start happening. Anything else you wanna share?
Not really. I mean, I really hope that we can kind of do this for all our future models. I think even in like the short time that
Yeah.
we've had the program running, it's been really positive. We've gotten a lot of learnings for ourselves internally, for R&D, and also just for myself in running these programs. So I think it's something that we want to continue, and I hope people are excited about future models to do the same thing.
Yeah, and I think what my favorite part of this whole program is that we're not really sitting in the black box, making these decisions about what the product should be like, how it should behave, and then just dumping those decisions onto our customers. We're actually involving very much the same people that have been following the development of the product since day one, and giving them a chance to be a part of what the product ends up becoming. So it's truly almost like crowdsourcing that feedback and trying to bake all of that into the final rendition of the product. So I think that's both an amazing way to improve the product itself, but also a way to involve the community, which very few other companies have done. So.
For sure. And yeah, I'm hoping at the end, like we have a lot of our customers in Montreal that are participating in this program.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can do kind of a little Apollo Pro party at the end or something,
Oh,
and do
that
a
sounds
group
fantastic.
ride. So really trying to involve the community and
Yeah.
just make it a really positive experience for everyone.
Awesome. Are you going to be riding the Chrome?
Well, I hope so.
Nice. Okay.
I don't know if I'll get that for my summer scooter, but you never know.
Yeah, you need to call in some favors with Eloi.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Awesome, Rachel. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
See ya.